Hello everyone and welcome! The Bilgewater event has arrived and it seems to confirm that it is still fan favorite. We got a new champion, we got a lore based map, but Riot also released their own narrated champion stories on top of a set of new bios. And here I quickly want to talk about something. When I work on lore videos, and quite frankly any other video as well, I have to make sure the videos are 10 minutes long because that's simply how YouTube works, and we have to praise the YouTube god. Normally, when a story is too short, I combine it with another champion. For example, you can see a Yasuo and Riven video or Kassadin and Malzahar video on this channel. While I do that to make sure that I can live for another week, the clarity and readability of those videos go down the drain. It is always more appealing to viewers if the video is focused on a single champion instead. So with that said, I will use the narrated version Riot released in this video. Just keep in mind that I'm doing this more for the clarity and less for the sake of making a couple more bucks off of more content. As a bonus, it allows me to release the stories more quickly as I have less lines to record. I don't even know why I felt like I needed to defend myself. Instead, let's jump into the first story, the story of a champion we all know and love, the Titan of the Depths, Nautilus. To understand the legend of Nautilus, one must first know the man. For even the tallest of tavern tales agree, he was indeed a man. Though the waves have washed away the name he was born with, most remember Nautilus as no mere sailor, but as a salvage diver. Just beyond the southernmost reach of the Blue Flame Isles lies a graveyard of ships, rumored lost while searching for a blessed land, looking to trade wealth for immortality. On a fair day, their glittering holds beckon from beneath the surface. Many crews sought divers to collect the lost fortune, and none could match the skill of the quick-sinking hulk of solid muscle that was Nautilus. With lungs that could steal the air from a galleon's sails, Nautilus preferred to free dive. Always bringing up plenty of gold and jewels for the crew, the man demanded no special wages. He asked only that the captain toss a coin overboard as they set out, honoring and appeasing the vast ocean. A sailor's superstition, to be sure. But many a sea-fearing crew made such offerings to ensure a safe return. Years of salvage depleted the easy treasure, each haul becoming less and less, until one day Nautilus's crew learned that their ship and working papers had been bought from under them. The dawn was scarlet the morning the new captain came aboard. Hailing from a foreign port, he brought with him a giant suit of brass and iron. He zeroed in on Nautilus. Indeed, he had purchased the command because of Nautilus. It was clear the captain was obsessed with a specific wreck, one shrouded in darkness even on a fair day. The diving armor could withstand the pressures of the ocean floor far longer than any man, long enough to collect what was hidden in the abnormal murk. The crew agreed that working was better than starving, and Nautilus found himself bolted into the suit, the wooden deck groaning under the load. Panic rose in his throat as he realized that they had nothing to pay the tithe. The foreign captain laughed as Nautilus was lowered into the water. He assured the crew that whatever the bearded lady was protecting would make them all rich beyond their wildest dreams. When Nautilus returned to the surface, they would make their silly sacrifice. As Nautilus sank, the light above dimmed, and all grew quiet. The man's own breath the only sound echoing in the iron suit. Then something reached out from the depths. He was being pulled down, and for the first time, Nautilus felt liquid fear wrap itself around his heart. It was not treasure his captain sought, it was some slumbering eldritch power. Nautilus grabbed the anchor chain, his last connection to the world above, and hauled himself up even as the thing sought to drag him down. But the weight was too much. Just as his giant metal fingers were about to breach the surface, the chain snapped. Nautilus screamed within the suit, but none could hear him. He tumbled back into the inky maelstrom, clutching the sinking anchor in desperation. Dark tendrils enveloped him, and he could only watch as the dimming outline of his ship faded away. Then everything went black. When Nautilus awoke on the ocean floor, he was something different. The darkness could no longer hurt him. The great metal suit had become a seamless shell around him, concealing the bond that the primordial power had made with his spirit. Trapped in the sunless depths, he could remember only one thing: the new captain's broken promise. Nautilus vowed there and then that all would pay the ocean's tithe. He would see to it himself. Driven ever forward by this thought, he trudged toward the shore. But by the time he reached Bilgewater, years had passed, and he could find no traces of his captain or crew. There was no life to which he could return, no revenge he could take. Instead, he returned to the sea, allowing his anger to surface on the greedy, gutting their ships with his mighty anchor. Sometimes, in the tumble of waves, distant memories of who he was push up above the waterline. But always, the man who is Nautilus stays drowned just below the surface.
No, that seat's not taken. Pull up a chair and sink a few, friend. Though that might be a port in the phrase, given my history. I have seen a few shipwrecks. Been in one myself, as it goes, back when I was young like you. Her name was the Ophidian, that ship. Pulled down beneath the jagged straits. I was the only survivor, too, man. Maybe you buys me a drink and I'll tell you about it. This? No, this coin's not for spending, friend. That's my lucky kraken for to pay the tithe. The tithe? You know the tithe. Everyone knows about the tithe. Pay the tithe or face the ocean's wrath. Oh, by the bearded lady. Then you never heard of Nautilus either. The Titan of the depths. Barkeep! Pour us around, barkeep. There's a good lass. This is a tale that needs an ale, as they say. And my friend here's buying. That's the good stuff, that is. It was almost 30 years back now, returning from a hunt. I was a harpooner, finest shot in the slaughter fleets. We'd caught ourselves an axe-fin leviathan. Aye, one of them big mean buggers. And we was hauling the beast back to port. It was just before dawn. Bilgewater's city lights flickered in the distance, beckoning us in. There were razorfish and berserker sharks following close by, because the axefin was oozing into the water, see? And the old captain. Well, none of us much cared for him. Untrustworthy sort. He swears blind he paid the tithe before we left. A single gold kraken, he said, for 'tis all I have to give. But none of us seen him throw it over the side, now did we? So, naturally we were suspicious. Because we knew he was a tight-fisted old wharf rat. But on we sailed anyway. And that was when the Titan hit us. Without warning, this bloody great anchor comes at us from below. Smashed clean through the keel, up through the main deck. Caught us tight and started pulling us down. Oh, it was chaos, friend. Sailors thrown overboard, the water's churning, scavengers feeding. I grabs the captain, screaming at him, "You're a liar! This is the lady's punishment for those that don't pay!" The ship was going down fast. But then the planking gave way, didn't it? And the anchor slid back into the depths. If it had ended there, well, more of us might have got away. But it weren't over. No. Nautilus weren't done with us yet. The ship, she tipped to starboard, right, son? It was the weight of the Titan himself hauling up onto the deck. Perhaps it had once been a man, but it weren't no man I saw that night, rising from the waves. I has our captain by the throat. "This is your doing," I roared, as I chokes the bastard, his eyes wide. He can see Nautilus is coming for us. So I shows the captain away down the slanted deck, and this thing catches him in one hand, if you can believe it. It was so big, the fingers closed completely around his body. And the captain weren't a small man by any stretch, no. There's your tie, thy elves, and jumped overboard. I don't know how long I was in the water. Must have only been seconds, but it felt like an age. But the sea scavengers didn't get me, Mother Serpent be praised. Pulled myself up onto one of them stone pinnacles out there in the Straits. And I watched the Ophidians sink. Nautilus still held the captain, squirming and wriggling like a stuck worm, but there were no escaping that grasp. The Titan was just standing there, motionless as a statue. I watched them go. Down into the darkness. Why spare me? I don't rightly know. Perhaps I was the only one to make an offering. Or maybe Nautilus wanted someone left alive to tell the tale, huh? But on the darkest Bilgewater nights, when the murder fog rolls in, you might hear him wading out from the shallows, slow and steady like, dragging that accursed anchor in his wake. You want my advice, friend? Keep a coin in your pocket and always pay the tithe. And don't trust no captain who says he's done it, unless you've seen it for yourself. After all, you might not be so lucky as me.
And this was the first of 5 Bilgewater stories to cover. Again, because Riot has done half of the work for me in an amazing style, I can release the stories faster. So I'll try to do it every other day. But that's going to be it for today. So far the event is great and people love the theme and the new ARAM. Just wait till you hear the stories. So, if you liked the video, feel free to rate it and subscribe for more lore and news. If you'd like to check our social media, Twitch, merch and P.O.Box will be in the description. Of course, massive shout out to our patrons for going the extra mile, especially Lunar Borgir and Sol Gomez. You guys are incredible. And with that, thank you all so much for being here and for your support. You know I really appreciate it. And as always, thank you, come again.